Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack make it backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the vital speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby May. Just caught a touchdown from the bay.
No, like, he was just a wavy nigga, bro, at a young age, bro. Niggas don't know Shyste was very young, like, for his name to be really big. Like, he was just like ahead of time, bro. Like, he was just a swaggy nigga, you know what I'm saying? The way he carried himself, his lingo, how he bop. Everything about him was just cool, son. Like, that's why everybody, you know what I'm saying? When he died, it broke everybody's heart. Like,
gotcha. And
son was on timing, like, way before a lot of niggas. Seeing Shyste pull up in stolen cars and, you know what I'm saying? At young ages, bro, like, on dumb shit, on nut shit. Like, he was, you know, like, he just had a major effect on the whole neighborhood. It was just like, when he died, bro, I don't know, son. I feel like everybody changed.
Gotcha.
I feel like everybody started wilding.
It's hot, man. It's hot boys, man. Your hot boy moving, man. Y'all ain't hated by your hot boy. Y'all moving, y'all. So that's how you got hot boys from the older, you feel me? And we was just dead, boom. And R.I.P. to Shyste. Shyste died, we went crazy.
Yeah.
Like, everybody went crazy.
When something like this happens, people are making each other aware of what's going on.
That's why Miami Beach police put out this safety bulletin. Saturday night's gunshots they say they've discovered were fired by a Brooklyn-based GS9 gang member.
Yes, it's possible. This is Miami.
But police say from what they know about this gunfire outside Fat Tuesdays is that it's not about Miami at all. The notice put out to Miami Beach police officers reads, quote, "The retaliation stems from a murder that occurred in Brooklyn, NYC about 4 to 5 years ago."
The anchor said it would happen 4 to 5 years ago. But to be exact, that murder that would turn Brooklyn and pretty much the entire Eastern Seaboard into a gun range would occur 3 years, 1 month, and 6 days before that gunfire would erupt outside Fat Tuesdays in South Beach. On October 11th, 2014, bullets would rip through the windows of a popular Ocean Drive bar, sending crowds scrambling for cover. Authorities would later allege that this wasn't a random act of violence, but a calculated strike by GS9 aimed at alleged former friends and associates that turned rival who had allegedly drawn first blood in Brooklyn.
Three people are dead and 2 police officers were wounded after a shooting just a few blocks off the route of the annual West Indian Day Parade in New York City. Officials say one of those killed in the shooting was a bystander who was sitting on her front porch stoop. The other 2 were what police called criminal shooters.
So the police heard and they start coming and the police just start shooting them up and kill them.
One of the police officers was shot in the arm, hospitalized. The other grazed by a bullet. Witnesses say the shooting went on for at least 30 seconds.
I heard a lot of shots. It sounded like either an automatic weapon or fireworks. And I was convinced it was fireworks because I wanted to be convinced it was fireworks, but it sounded like a ton of shots. And I saw a shooting earlier today at the parade, so I'm a little bit freaked out.
Police say 4 people were shot and wounded in other locations along the parade route over the course of the day. Deadly shootings also happened during 2003 and 2005 parades.
Every Labor Day before sunrise, the streets of Brooklyn will come alive for Juve, a celebration tracing back to the emancipation festivals of Trinidad and other Caribbean nations. In New York, it will become the prelude to the West Indian Day Parade, beginning in the early morning darkness with masqueraders, steel pan bands, along with paint-powdered revealers winding through Crown Heights and along Flatbush Avenue, Eastern Parkway, and Nostrand Avenue before the sun even breaks the skyline. But in the year of 2011, the music and the costumes couldn't mask the violence. Within 48 hours, 31 people were shot citywide. An out-of-control house party in the Bronx would leave 8 wounded, 3 children among them. Hours later, in Brooklyn, 2 uniformed officers would be struck by separate gunmen, one near Linden Boulevard and Nostrand Avenue, and the other on Empire Boulevard, with the both of them ended up clinging for life at Kings County Hospital. More shootings would erupt across the borough, but none of them wouldn't have as much ramifications than one that would occur just before dawn, when an 18-year-old gang member would be gunned down at a backyard barbecue. Prosecutors would later allege that his death turned a neighborhood feud into a co-spanning street war, one that would allegedly reach South Beach 3 years later and end with Brooklyn's biggest rap star at the time and his crew under indictment.
Okay, so that song had a bunch of names on it in terms of your friends.
Yeah. The boys had them boys out. The boys who had the hood. Cause right now there's a bunch of niggas, I don't know what's going on and shit like that.
Yeah,
but niggas who had the hood.
Shyste got mentioned.
Man, it's hot boys, man. Your hot boy moving, man. Y'all ain't hated about your hot boy, y'all moving, y'all. So that's how we got hot boys from the older, you feel me? And we was just dead, boom. And R.I.P. to Shyste. Shyste died, we went crazy.
Yeah.
Like everybody went crazy. Like, cause you never we lost, but you know when you lose, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a man I was with, and we was out there active, like me and him active. Yeah. Like when shit started, it was me and Brody active.
So
to everybody
you were close to him.
We all was. He was the hot boy. We all was close. Shyste was like a memorabilia in the hood. Like everybody, you know what I'm saying? But then you had some niggas that just was like behind his coattail because they wanted to be next to him. But then you got his mans, like he know, like, all right, I gotta fight or I gotta do this. These is the niggas I'm calling. These is my niggas.
Yeah.
So when that happened, niggas went crazy.
Yeah. Bet. All right. So from there, when you talk about how influential Shyste was, like, what does that do to the neighborhood? Like, how does...
Niggas was devastated, bro.
Yeah.
And we was young.
Mm-hmm.
For me, so that was
how old were y'all?
Niggas was 15, 16, 17, 18. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he was 18 at the time, right?
Just turned, yeah. Like, just had his kid, his daughter, you feel me? So... And then that's like, yeah, man. So it's like that shit. Mind you, niggas was already into it. Mm-hmm. We was already into it. It was gun beef. Mm-hmm. You feel me? But it's just like, damn, like niggas, a man's passed, like a man's died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess that took it to another level. Yeah. Like that was,
that elevated.
Yeah,
that shit elevated it, and it's unfortunate, like. Mothers lost their kids, you feel me? Like,
I'm gonna ask this. Before everything occurred, like, was there, because I heard Bobby is from the 50s.
Yeah, niggas from East Flatbush. Yeah. 50s, 90s.
Yeah.
All of us.
Okay. Now, we know, like, from what we see and we hear in the music and all that, now it's like there's tension, but I hear there was a time.
Huh? No tension, man.
It's just
niggas.
You know, I be doing my research. I look at old pictures.
Yeah.
There's a time I see.
It was all cool. If that's what you ask. Yeah, everybody.
Yeah,
but this is what I'm saying. That's how it is in the hood.
By the summer of 2014, the world was just discovering the Smoney Dance. Beyonce's surprise moment interweaving the move into Flawless on the Run tour was only days old when Complex would run the headline. It looks like Beyonce did the Smoney Dance at the On the Run show tonight on July 12, 2014. And from there, the coverage would explode. You would have Bossip proclaiming Beyonce and Jay-Z bust the Bobby Shmurda Smoney dance on July 14th, 2014, and then Slate breaking it all down and everything you need to know about the Smoney dance the very next day on July 15th, 2014. In that mid-July 2014 window, the dance, Born in Brooklyn, went viral. And by extension, so did the teenage rapper who would make it famous. But while the world was clicking play on Beyonce's cosign, something else had already been set in motion 17 months earlier. On February 8th, 2013, a 19-year-old by the name of Brian Antoine, an alleged member of BMW, or Brooklyn's Most Wanted, was killed inside a bodega on Clarkson Avenue, allegedly by a rival GS9 gang member. But that murder wasn't just another news report. They would be the exact bullets that prosecutors would later follow to stitch together a case. So while Bobby Shmurda seemed to be basking in the spotlight of his biggest moments and the world danced along right beside him, the NYPD had quietly started piecing together a case. And deep in his mind, he always had to know that no matter how big the dance got, they were coming for him.
I was going through the motion, and it was, when I say earlier, it was happy, but at the same thing, hanging over my head, because right after I get off the set, it'll be back to reality. So it was like, once you leave the club, like, you'll be happy for an hour or two. Once you go back, it's like, yo, with the police outside, yo, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah. Well, I mean, you said that at one point you started to notice cops from Brooklyn showing up
in Miami,
out of town
California, like that. We start seeing cops that we know in Brooklyn, they in Miami taking pictures. We got charged with certain shit in Miami for shootings in Miami, and then
by shooting late Saturday night, they are also learning more about that incident and perhaps think it might happen again near here. 10:54 Saturday night, a whole crowd of people on this Ocean Drive sidewalk scrambled for cover.
You want to tend to react first and then ask questions later.
This is the view from surveillance cameras at Fat Tuesdays at 9th and Ocean on South Beach.
I think it's one of the best streets in the world. But the life is crazy, you know?
What you can't see in the video, police say, is a black Infiniti speeding away with the gunman inside.
When something like this happens, people are making each other aware of what's going on.
That's why Miami Beach police put out this safety bulletin. Saturday night's gunshots they say they've discovered were fired by a Brooklyn-based GS9 gang member.
Yes, it's possible. This is Miami.
But police say from what they know about this gunfire outside Fat Tuesdays is that it's not about Miami at all. The notice put out to Miami Beach police officers reads, quote, "The retaliation stems from a murder that occurred in Brooklyn, NYC about 4 to 5 years ago."
It can always carry over to, you never know if it's done, and that's the biggest thing. That's why it scares people.
According to the police department's notice, quote, GS9 members are allegedly to be involved in counterfeit currency, credit card fraud, and narcotics sale. The members are known to drive high-end expensive cars. Allegedly, future retaliation is expected.
I think everyone here, especially on South Beach, you have that tourist feel, you're not expecting anything like that, and everyone is so scared and worried.
If there's one shooting here, and they travel around the block and they see the same person, then they might be inclined to shoot again.
Saturday night, it happened outside Fat Tuesdays, but police say there's likely a next time, perhaps somewhere else. Now, one of the managers at Fat Tuesdays said they had a larger than usual crowd on Saturday night because of the Carnival celebrations as well as the 3-day holiday. They said they had a lot of people in town from New York, so they are not anticipating something like this in the future. Still, Miami Beach police are looking for more clues to possibly arrest more people in connection with Saturday night's shooting or stop something before it happens in the future. Live on Miami Beach tonight, Liz Nagy, 7 News 19.
California, I'm like, oh shit, nigga, and then we already know we under investigation because the alleged people that were supposed to be against us got indicted, and allegedly they got shot more. They like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of them that got shot. So allegedly, who they gonna come for next? You know, it's like 2 + 2 is 4, guys. What the?
In just 3 years, 3 months, and 13 days, Bobby Shmurda and his GS9 crew would transform from neighborhood boys into grown men carrying the weight of war. What would begin as a perceived childhood feud would spiral into a cycle of retribution, with gunfire echoing the same Brooklyn blocks they once played on. From the deli at 830 Clarkson Avenue and the brownstone-lined homes of East Flatbush, the tension would harden them, forging a brotherhood bound by loyalty and vengeance. The murder of Tyrief Shyste Gary, only 18 years old, would become the defining moment. To put it in perspective, for Bobby, who had just turned 17 barely a month earlier, just removed from being 16, even though very young, by all accounts, Shyste seemed like a OG in their circle, and his death would create both a void and kind of like a challenge that the younger members felt like they had to answer. And by December 2014, when prosecutors would say GS9 had traded the promise of fame for fury of the streets, when they would be tied to 14 separate shootings across New York City alone, the bodega murder of Brian Antoine would be remembered later in retrospect, set against Bobby's rise and Beyonce herself doing a Smoney dance on stage in July of 2014. But by then, the war had already claimed its grounds, with shootings in February of 2013, June of 2014, and another volley of shots on July 12th, 2014, just days before Beyonce's performance. And each act of violence marked just how deep GS9 was already engulfed in bloodshed before the world knew who any of them were. Stardom would arise, but it came inside the crossfire. And in Bobby's mind, I'm sure there could be no optimism, as he already seen the rival crew, BMW, or Brooklyn's Most Wanted, taken down in a sweeping indictment a year before GS9 ever touched any mainstream success. And knowing that murders had been committed throughout the feud, murders that his own circle would be tied to, fame might have put him in the spotlight, but it might have also made him a target. And he would live knowing that it was only a matter of time before the same fate would reach his crew. And all of it, the indictments, the shootings, the collapse of promise, would unfold over the murder of 18-year-old Tyrief Shyste Gary. Now, y'all make sure y'all hit the red bell and subscribe button right under this video so y'all know when this real Trill Spill shit is dropping. Y'all get in the comment box below. Y'all let me know what cities we need to go to, what stories we need to tell, what we missed, what we got wrong, all of that. Y'all make sure y'all tapping with me directly on Instagram, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. And until the next play, y'all know how we rocking. It's Shades Popalot. Salute the almighty MOBB.